Hello, Reborn family, and welcome to my house. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to kick you, but I'm not starting over because this is like, I don't know, I lost count on how many times I've started over. So I have Miss Stacy. We're just rocking in here, and I fed her a bottle, and she's all sleepy now. I love this little one. I, I don't have one I don't love, so whatever. But I have been thinking about telling you a story about my granddad because my granddad was like one person I knew cared about me. My grandma and my granddad. Not that I didn't think other people cared about me, but I knew that they loved me unconditionally. And I didn't really have that growing up like you would think. Like my parents did their best. And I understand my mom had bipolar, and hers was the anger kind. She had fits of anger, sometimes for days. She would tell my brother and I that she hated us a lot when we were little. My brother was littler, he's 5 years younger than me. So that's like something I swore I would never ever do to my kids. And I don't know, my granddad would never treated me bad, ever, ever. I could have done something bad and he would not have. He would just say, Lloyd, don't do that. Or baby doll, because he never called me Lloyd, ever. My brother's nickname was Tink, and he called him nothing but John, which is his real name, or Johnny. And yeah, we just had a special relationship, Granddad and I. And when I was little, he would take me to all the Disney movies. I lived in Missouri, he lived in Oklahoma, and I would get to spend some, like in the summertime, sometimes I would get to spend a couple of weeks with him. So we would go see a movie, and we would go see it in the Coleman Theater in Miami, Oklahoma. And it was like this grand, it's kind of like a theater in, I can't remember what the movie was called, but Jim Carrey was in it. It was kind of like that theater. It had a balcony, and it was like red and like red velvet, everything, and then like a red carpet. The stairs kind of spiraled up, and they had gold on the whatchamacallit, the handle. What's that? You know what I mean? But it was beautiful. It was gorgeous, and it was just like I loved it. It was a great time. Um, and one time he took me to see Fantasia, the Mickey Mouse movie. Fantasia, I guess you all know what Fantasia is, or whatever. That thing scared me so bad. I hated that movie. But I wouldn't tell my granddad that I was scared. So I would have nightmares of that movie. It was very scary to me, and I know that must sound crazy because my son, Matthew, I'm pointing because his room is right there. He loves that movie. Like, he's like the music and everything. I would think you would like it, Mom. I'm like, yeah, but something in it freaked me out, just terrified me. So that was the only movie that I ever went to see with my granddad that I didn't like. But he took me to see Bambi. I remember watching Bambi with him. I would remember watching Cinderella with him. I remember watching Zippity Doo Dah. Like, that's not the name of the show, but where the guy had the bird on his shoulder, and it was part cartoon, part real life, kind of, which Disney did a lot. But anyway, I remember seeing that with him. I remember a lot of specific things, like movie-wise, that we saw. But I also remember his garage. He was like a jack of all trades. He was a tinkerer. A tinkerer. Like he could just do anything mechanical, or he was a carpenter, and he just amazed me. I loved that. I loved it. He worked on a Shangri-La was it in Missouri? Was it in Oklahoma? I think it was in Oklahoma. But he took me on the job site one day when he wasn't working and toured me around. I'm having trouble with words. Forgive me. I've had a bad sleep week. But I got the grand tour of the whole place, like the parts that were finished and then up to the parts that were not finished. And that was amazing. I love to do anything with Granddad. He would take me. I was like, I think I've told you, like maybe not, maybe it didn't make the cut. But when I was little, I weighed 25 pounds when I started kindergarten. And I was very tiny, like until probably my 8th grade year, I started growing, like putting on weight and stuff. I was tiny until then, but like I started growing then. But people still called me Strawberry Shortcake because I was so short. It's okay. It is what it is, right? But where was I going? Okay, I had to go back and see what I was saying. So he would take, after telling you that I was little, right? I was tiny. And he would take me out to cafes and let me order anything I wanted on the menu, right? So I would order an ungodly amount of food. And I would nibble on a piece of this, a piece of that, like whatever. I never ate the whole thing of anything. But Granddad would let me do whatever I wanted. And then the waitress would always say, "You want her to eat all that?" And this is secondhand. This is from him telling other people about me. When I was little, I remember going to the cafe. I don't remember the waitress saying this, but I'm sure they did. "You want to let her order all that? Do you want to get from the child menu?" "No, she can have whatever." No, I do remember him saying, "She can have whatever she wants." So my granddad loved me. I never ever doubted it. So that was, we had a special relationship, and it was kind of cool. Something else that we did, like they lived in Neosho at one point because Granddad was a carpenter, so sometimes he would travel around to get the best jobs. He was a hard-working man. So they lived in Neosho, and there was this park in Neosho. In Neosho or outside of Neosho? I think it was in Neosho. It was so cool. It had this like circle concreted walk that you could go, and in the middle of this walk area there was I want to say clock covered in flowers. Now I might be wrong about that, but that's what I remember. But they would take me down there and we would go for a walk around the walk, and then just the park wasn't like a regular swing set park. It was just a pretty place. I loved going down there, and I wish I had cell phones and stuff back then. They had cell phones and stuff back then, because I would love to have had pictures and memories of stuff like that, because it was so pretty. I love that. My granddad and Nana lived in a motel, and it had like just like kitchenette and a living room and a bedroom. So I mean, it was like a little apartment. But I thought that was so cool. I don't know why I thought it was so cool, but it was so cool. But yeah, I have great memories of that. When I first moved out here, when I was thinking of just moving, I was going to try to buy my granddad's house, and it had just sold right before, and ended up I probably couldn't have done it, but if I ever could, I would. Even if I just bought it and only stayed there like a couple times a year. I would do it. But the house has special memories. He renovated a lot of it, like the living room, the ceilings, the walls, the bathroom. He renovated it. They had a claw bathtub for a long time, and I loved that thing. But when he renovated it, Nana wanted a regular shower, which I absolutely understand, now. And the bathtub to be, where she was taller than me. It always fit me perfect, the claw bathtub. I missed the claw bathtub because I could fill it up, and it was like I could float in it. But I understand why they, modernized it and everything. But I have a lot of good memories with my granddad and that. So this is going to end up being a lot longer than I expected it to be because I wasn't expecting to talk, but yeah, that's not where I was going all the 15 times before. But anyway, it's okay. And I hope you all have a great day or a great rest of the day. I hope Arkansas at least scored one touchdown. I'll have to check when I get off of here, but I don't think that's happening. As always, lots of love and big hugs from me and Stacy. Well, she fell asleep. Anyway, we love you.